Mosito Obitange, Wisconsin. Hey, kuna watu wanaishi Wisconsin pia. That's good. Yeah, karibu sana my brother. Yes, karibuni. I'm waiting for my guest to join me here in few minutes so we can get started. Polly, that's my cousin from Seattle, Washington. Karibu sana. Thank you for joining. Noni Nyawera Mobada ine. Okay, karibu sana kutoka Mobada. Huh? As we say there in Kiambu, Mobada. Yeah, so join guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I have a guest all the way from, I think we have like 15 hours apart. This guy is joining me, like, it's I think it's like noon there. Whatever he is noon. And here is, what time is it here? 10 p.m. Thank God for these Facebook Live, you know. It can connect us wherever you are in the world. Karibuni sana. Betikialo. Yes, from DFW. Karibu sana. Thank you for joining me tonight. Karibu. Let me know where you're joining me from. My guest is getting ready. He's gonna join me in the next 2 minutes. The next 2 minutes he's gonna join me. And today we're going to unleash all the topics you've been waiting for. Of course, you have seen him. He does a lot of Facebook Lives. It's going to be a good show. He's also going to share a very personal story about him and how he has been able to heal from that. So it's going to be inspiring, informative, and it's one of those shows that you're gonna watch and say, yes, I did not waste my time watching these live, Facebook Live. Purity, Muthoni, Blessing, Gunye, from Irving, Texas. Karibu sana. Patricia from Miami. That's my co-host there. Gitao Munge. Where have you been, my dude? Yeah, from Lakewood, Washington. Kathy Caris. Let me know where you're joining from. Today is gonna be a good show. As I wait here for Benjamin Bogonko Jr. He's gonna join me maybe in the next 1 minute. Join me, guys. Thank you so much. Blessed Nyasondu Betty, thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. Jimmy Kamau, karibu sana. Karibuni sana. Miss Craig from naona watu wa Dallas leo wengi. Dallas tuko wengi. Karo ako PA. Thank you. And tonight, let me know what you're sipping on tonight. Today is sip and chat. So you better have something you're sipping on. Yes. Mark Terry, thank you so much for joining. Karibuni sana. Naona mpaka kuna watu wa Orlando here. Nora Award from Texas. Kit Saimoa, that's my schoolmate too. All the way from Plano, Texas. Yes. The Queen joining from Bujumbura. Whoa! Oh my. We got, Africa, East Africa, representing in the house. Yeah, that's good. Join guys, tag and share as I wait for my, guest to join me here in few minutes. Freda Misi from Huntsville. Danny, yes, that's good. Betty Chemngeno is your the music. This is a music DJ Demakufu 2017. Yeah. Madam Jean Ayako is in the building. What's up? Shout out. Yeah. Thank you for joining. Yep. Ati my cousin Polly ati sipping ati uji yakokakatio. Oh, good for you. Mili, Wakisumu, I didn't know that. Yes. So let me see whether my guest is here. so we can get started. Tag and share. That's Daniel Kiruko Givenji. That's my my deskmate actually from way back. I don't want to say how old I am, but I went to school with this guy a while back. Yeah, probably like about more like 20 years. And Benjamin is here. So guys, let's get started here. Let's get so we can start the show. Let me know what you're sleeping on. I'm gonna sleep on tonight. I'm not gonna lie. I just came home from the club. Hey, what's up?
Nothing much, brother.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Are there echoes?
I think I can hear my echo.
Yeah. Let me fix my headphones.
Okay, cool.
Hello?
Hey, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I hope there are no echoes anymore.
There is no echoes, yeah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Are you ready to get started tonight?
Yeah, I'm ready. I can't see the comments. That's so sad from my side. I don't know why.
What? You can't?
I can't see the comments. I would love to see the comments there.
Yeah, that would be helpful if you can see the comments.
Let me see if I can fix that on my laptop.
Yeah, if you can be able to see, let me know. And you can share the video as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you one more minute. I'm just gonna play the music here.
Oh, now I can see the comments.
Oh, you can see the okay.
Okay, let me share the video too.
That's good.
As you play the music.
Yeah. You wanna share? Okay.
All right.
Let me know when you're ready so we can get started.
Sure.
Yes. Yes. Benjamin is here. It's going to be a good show. All right, guys.
Echoes. Yeah? I'm ready now.
Yeah. First things first, I think I'm going to introduce myself to you because we never met.
Yeah.
Because we have met on Facebook streets. My name is George Bogua. I am the co-founder of the Prudential Show. I live in Texas, 30 miles east of downtown Dallas. This is my home for the last 9 years. I've been here in the States for about 18 years. So it's a pleasure and an honor to have you on the Prudential Show as we have a conversation and to hear your story tonight. I cannot wait to hear your story. So, having said that, I am going to let you introduce yourself to the viewers. Tell us who you are, where you're from. Let's start with that.
Thank you so much, Brother George. My name is Benjamin Mugongo, and I can first of all let me say hello to the viewers. The viewers, I can see most of them are watching me. I want to say thanks to all of them. Thank you also for accepting my request to have an interview with me.
Yes.
So my name is Benjamin Mugongo. I live in Japan for the last 8 years. I am a teacher by profession. I teach English.
Wow.
And I am a brother to my siblings. I'm also a son to my beautiful mom, my handsome father, and I'm also a friend to so many people who follow me on my Facebook Live. Pretty much that is Benjamin.
Already, and I know there's so many cities in Japan. Which city in Japan?
I live in the northern side of Japan, about 4 hours away from Tokyo. So
4 hours away from.
It's a place called Iwate.
Okay, and
yeah, but that's very far away from Tokyo. 4 hours by train to Tokyo City.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
One thing that we do here, I'm gonna let the viewers know, and you as well, that one of the motto here for the Prudential is to educate, inspire, and inform.
Yes.
Tonight we're going to educate, we are going to inspire, and also we are going to inform people. And it's a tradition for my guests when they come here. I want you to share your professional background. What have you done, maybe in school, maybe you can inspire somebody, or what the path you have taken to be where you are today to become a teacher. Maybe you can start where you went to school, and then you can tell us how you got that, you went to Japan to be a teacher. Is this something you always wanted to do? If you can share something about your professional journey, we appreciate it.
All right, thank you for that question. I never wanted to be a teacher, honestly speaking, but I have talked about it in one of my live shows, my journey to find myself becoming, my mother is a teacher, she's retired now, she was my teacher in primary school, so I joined college with the hope to pursue a degree in mass communication. I wanted to work in radio or in TV, that was my childhood dream. But when I got admission to join college, I didn't get that specific course. I remember I tried to talk to the college admission board to revert the course from pursuing a degree in education to become a teacher and give me back the degree which I wanted, which was mass communication. And they refused. They said that's the only course they could offer me. And I didn't have anybody else to support me or guide me to pursue that specific course. Then I met one lecturer. He told me, Benjamin, you're still a young man. Pursue this degree that you've been offered. You will become a teacher. Hopefully when you continue growing, you will pursue your master's degree in the same field that you're looking for, and then you'll find yourself in the TV or in the radio.
Yeah.
So I went on pursuing that degree for 3 years, and then after 3 years I couldn't be able to continue with my master's degree. It was too expensive for me. I had to shelve that ambition to go and pursue this course. Then I started working in Kenya, the northern side of Kenya, teaching high school students, both boys and girls. It was a very tough experience. I met teenagers before the era of Facebook, and I remember they intimidated me. The older teachers also intimidated me. But the 3 years were the first steps for me to discover that I could be able to speak and inspire people. Because those young boys and girls, when I taught them for the 3 years, it changed everything, my perspective about what I really wanted to do in life. And then I got lucky and got friends who connected me to Japan, because in Japan they always look for teachers to teach English. It's one country that will never fall short of demand for teachers. And having had a degree in teaching English as my profession, I applied and I got lucky. I came here, and then I started working as a teacher for the last 8 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's very inspiring, and I can say, I hope you haven't given up your TV job, because I think you can. I have watched your live shows and they're very good, very inspiring. You're eloquent, and I think maybe one day you can you can open your own TV station. You don't have to look to be employed anymore. They're good for these Facebook Live. You can even open your own station now. And that's one thing that I want to encourage you keep on doing, because you're doing a very, 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 very good job.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So who is your mentor? Who do you look up to in your career?
That's a very nice question. You know, a mentor is somebody who is training you, is coaching you to become a better person, a better man, or a better woman. But I haven't had a specific person who is mentoring me to become better in any field. But I'll just mention, like I said, when I began teaching in high school, my first time when I began teaching, those older teachers in the Department of English, they are the ones who started to tell me how the teaching is done, what I should do in class, how can I deal with teenagers. And then moving from that school, when I came to Japan, again, I had to continue seeking for advice from these other teachers who have been teaching Japanese people for over 20 years. They had immense experience. One of them is called Peter. He's actually our head teacher right now. He's the one who has been telling me what to do, especially with my profession as a teacher. Because I teach young kids as young as 2 years old, as old as 80. My oldest student is 72 years old now. So I teach all these ages, and to adjust when I teach these kids and then adjust and go and begin teaching somebody who is my age mate or somebody who is older, the same as my father or my mother, is a very tough experience. But those teachers, they have been mentoring me. Of course, I can't forget my mom. My mom has been there for me. My parents, they offered me advice when I was growing up. Up to now, that's when I look back, I feel they still live in me. And the people who watch me on my Facebook Live videos, they are my mentors because I see them, I read their comments, we chat with them, sometimes we video call with others. They still push me in a better way. It's just like they are my own coaches. They coach me and they help me to grow and get better in what I do on my live shows.
Okay, let's talk about your live videos, because I've been watching them for a while now. When did you start doing the Facebook Live?
The Facebook Live I began last year around, I'm not so sure when exactly, because I've done over 300 live shows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm so surprised. The other day I was just looking at how many videos I've done, how many topics I've covered. Then they were too many for me to even remember when exactly I began. But I remember it was last year, around June, in the middle of the year last year. That's when I went live for the first time.
Oh, wow. I think I started like a year and a half ago, but I haven't even checked how many videos that I've done.
Yeah.
But of course, my passion is interviewing people like you.
Okay.
I'm not very good when you come to talking about this, specific stuff about the relationship, about the marriage and all that. So I like dealing with the interviews and get to know you better and you speaking to people through me. And I appreciate for you to even have that courage of, talking about these very sometimes very sensitive topics that you have talked on your show.
Mm-hmm.
So what motivates you to speak these kind of topics? Because I have seen you talking one day about relationship. The other day you're talking about living with HIV. What motivates you to speak these kind of topics?
I see the comments there. Thank you for the compliments, and thank you for the guys who are giving me compliments there and giving us, me and you. We appreciate your comments there. Thank you for your question, George. What motivates me is my profession as a teacher. The way I began teaching these teenagers over 10 years ago, listening to their stories. When you're teaching a teenager, and I remember one specific example because I was teaching a mixed school, and those who know the northern side of Kenya, it's a marginalized area, and I was teaching students who were old to be in high school, as old as 20 years old, as old as 22. Some of them, they were mothers, young mothers, and then there was one specific girl who was having her menses, and she didn't have the way she was dressed, the school uniform. It was lunchtime after I'd finished teaching my lesson, and when she stood up and she wanted to go out, she discovered that these were her days, the days in her month, and she couldn't stand up, she couldn't walk out. So the other girls, she told her desk mate that please cover me. I want the boys to go out because I'm so embarrassed to stand up and go outside. And then when the boys stepped out, one of the girls approached me. She came and told me, Teacher Benjamin, this and this has happened to this girl. What should we do? I felt so touched because they could approach me as a man and also as their teacher. I didn't expect them to approach me. I thought they were going to look for a female teacher Then I was even so shocked, I asked them, why didn't you talk to a female teacher? Then they told me, Benjamin, it's easier to talk to you compared to the female teachers. That was the turning point of me to begin feeling that what I do, what I'm doing as a teacher, how I talk to these young people, motivated me and developed the basis of how I began these live videos. So I've met other many students, both in Kenya and in Japan, listening to their stories every single day as a teacher. I meet everyone with different stories. And when I become so close to every student, they begin to open up. They will tell you what they're facing. They will tell you what's going on in their lives. And I was listening to these stories. I wanted to share these stories. They are very personal, but it's very hard to share people's stories. Then I said, why not? I have a Facebook Live. Let me introduce myself to the world. Let me talk about my stories. And when I talk, other people will begin joining me. They will open up. And in that way, they will be inspired and maybe feel better. That's how I began the journey from, it actually began from my profession. And of course with my family members, and what I see they go through, my cousins, my aunts, my mother, they all built up that basis for me to do my live shows.
Yeah, and I don't think it's not easy to do these shows as people think. It's one thing to see somebody just coming on, on Facebook Live and talk about any topics. You have to be prepared for it. You have to know what topics are you talking about. You have to do research. Now, let's talk about etiquette. If you can advise those people who are going live, or maybe people who are, planning to go do Facebook Live in future, what are some of the Facebook etiquettes people need according to your, own research or according to your own experience? If you can share some of those nuggets of what are the Facebook Live etiquette.
Thank you for that question. You mean like, for example, like us, like me and you speaking to inspire people?
Yes.
I would suggest anyone, any young man or woman who wants to do the same thing, first of all, to have a passion. You need a passion. I have been doing this for more than 1 year, doing over 300 videos. Passion should drive you. If you have no passion, you will give up. I remember when I began, the first 2-3 months, I was losing it. I was getting so tired and exhausted. I never used to drink some water to quench my throat. But the passion drove me to continue doing it. So the first etiquette, or the first thing, is have the passion to do it.
Okay.
Secondly, as you mentioned, do your research. If it's a topic that you have no idea about, then don't do it.
Exactly.
Don't mix facts and your opinions.
Fictions. Yes.
I try as much as I can to differentiate between facts and opinions, because the people are watching. You have no idea who is watching. Somebody who is better and smarter than you is actually watching and listening to you, and he's watching you and he's just laughing at you, saying this guy is mixing up ideas and stuff. You are pumping your opinions to people outside there. Everyone has opinions about any topic in this world. So know the facts, differentiate them from the opinions, but also above all is appreciate your viewers. They just like any industry. If you're a musician, if you are let me use a musician or a comedian, these people are there for you. They support you. They are watching you. Even though you're sacrificing your time like we do, nobody pays us to do live shows, but they are watching you. They are appreciating you. So appreciate them back. Give them shout outs. Don't ignore their messages. Messages can be so many of them, but if you have the time, sit down and respond to some of their messages. If you can respond to all of them, that's the best thing you can do to them. So learn to appreciate the people who are watching and viewing you, but above all, do not act angry when you're live.
Okay, yeah.
Hold your cool. Some people will be very irritating with their comments, and because they don't know you, they have never seen you before, or they had a bad day and they want to transfer that bad day to you. understand all these dynamics of the people who are watching your live shows and be ready to be criticized. If you're not yet ready to be criticized, then don't do live videos.
Yeah, it's tough. And I want to give a shout out. I think Robert Burare is here. For those who know, Robert, he's big in Kenya, and he's watching this, as you have mentioned. Do your due diligence, do your research, because you never know who is watching these videos.
Yeah, yes.
And that's, if you have to take a true home message, that's one point you have to know. Whenever you do these live videos, do your research. Don't give your opinions which they don't mean anything. Everybody have their own opinion. We cannot come here and just give opinions, but all I'm asking is just do your own research. And let's talk about one thing that myself I struggled with is the bullies. I don't know why you live in Japan, because here in the United States, it's cutthroat. It's bad. It's really bad here. You get tarnished. It's very harsh. So, have you ever experienced anything like bullying online, even when you're doing a Facebook Live?
Of course.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. My first experiences when I began doing live videos last year, I had this, for most of you people watching here, I know they know Kilimani Moms. That's where I really began my live shows. And if you know the Kilimani Moms then compared to now, Kilimani is brutal. That is the mother of the bullies, the mother of the bullies in Kenyan community. So when I went there live, and I was doing the same topics that I do now, basically about life and relationships, which attracted a lot of attention, a lot of viewers, and of course a lot of bullies. So every time I was doing a live show, I could read the comments, and I could read some comments which were specifically attacking me. I remember one day, after the live show, I decided to begin responding to these comments, or go to the inbox and ask them, why do you want to kill me? I'm just trying to develop my dreams. Why are you attacking me? I don't know you, you don't know me. And some of them, they were very remorseful. They regretted what they were saying about me, and they said, I commented and said all this because I don't know you, Benjamin. I just saw you doing a live show, and I think live shows are meant for women. Some of them were saying that any man who does live shows, it means that you're looking for attention, you have nothing else to do, you're just a confused young man, you just want sympathy and attention from all these women. And so when they told me this, I tried to explain myself why I'm doing the live shows. But a bully is a bully. Some bullies do not give up bullying you. The first step I did was ignore them. But sometimes you can ignore, but it becomes too much. You can't ignore someone for more than 1 month or 2 months. That's why Facebook created the blocking option. Because they understand sometimes people will bully you, and they will mess up your video, they will mess up your moods. You want to do a live show which is just fun and impacting people, but one comment can change your mind and spoil the whole show. So sometimes, yes, indeed, I've blocked them. But I am so grateful over this year, since February up to now, the number of the people who bully and attack me totally reduced, because maybe the way I change, the way I talk to people, the way I respond to their comments and my topics, the way I carry myself out on the live shows, that one changed. So the number went down. I meet once in a while I meet a bully, but they are usually very new, they don't know me, and if they take time to know who is Benjamin, then they just say, okay, let me go and bully the next one. This one is okay, I will not bully this one.
Wow, I think you're very nice, because when I started here, my story is very different.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna hold that for another day, because I'll be doing an end of the year, the show for the end of the year. And normally I talk about the stuff that happened for the Prudential for the whole year. And this year was very tough for me, because I was bullied, I was attacked, and it went to a whole different, even like tagging, somebody even tagged my job. They actually like take something that I sent to them, and they were, trying to, send it to the HR, to where I work. It has gotten that bad here in the United States.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day. But let's try to read some of the comments here. Maybe you can answer some of the questions here, and then we can move on to the next topic. The reason why we are here tonight, because you're going to be sharing your story, a very personal story. And I can
Somebody's asking you.
Jean. Okay.
Judith Sakala is asking you, where do you buy your scapulas? And I'm trying to own one that I want to be wearing around my neck. I presume he's a Catholic. Are you Catholic? That's what she's asking.
Is she asking about you?
You, about George, about you.
Oh, what did she say?
That where did you buy your scapulas? I don't know what scapulas are.
Oh yeah.
Where did you buy them? And are you a Catholic?
Yes, I'm a very staunch Catholic. I do have scapula here.
Yes.
And I buy them at the store which we have down the street from where I stay. Is a Catholic bookstore. So to answer your questions, yeah, it's a scapula, and I'm a staunch Catholic. Let me read a question here from Jane, or a comment rather. It says, a talk show is an opinion show though. Having an opinion is what makes you authentic. You just don't have to ignorant opinions. Those want fact should go to a laboratory. And Jean, you have just answered your question. It says ignorant opinions. There are very people with like crazy opinions. And that's what we're talking about here. An opinion can be an authentic, what are you going to say about that, Benjamin?
As you said, it's opinion. Everyone has opinion.
Yeah.
But I will look at your opinion and see the sense in it, and see if it carries weight. Like it's an opinion that is making sense, or it's an opinion that I relate with as Benjamin, as my values. I will buy that opinion. But if it's something that I don't subscribe to, I will ignore, and then I will not respond. I usually just read the comment and say, thank you for your opinion. I appreciate you, but I will not dismiss my viewer because that is his or her opinion.
Okay, you want to read one more comment before you move on?
Let's see here. Bullies are just attention seekers. That's what Baba Jackie says. Yeah, bullies are just unhappy people. I would say bullies are people who are very miserable in life. A lot is going on in their life. So if they were happy, if you're a happy person, you have no time to bully anyone. You're enjoying your life.
I think they're just sad. They just want to subject that to somebody else.
Yes.
That's my theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next topic here. And the next topic is grief. For those who watched the show that I did last week with Dr. Reverend Joroge here, last week we talked about the grief and what it entails, and what do people feel when they lost somebody who they love, whether it's through separation, divorce, or even death. And tonight we're coming here to share your very personal story, about your own daughter that you've lost. First of all, if you can tell us in briefly, what is grief? What does a grief mean to you? Because it's a broad term. It can mean one thing to one person, and because some people they can grieve if they are divorced. Some people they think grief is about when you lost somebody through death. So according to you, what does this word mean to you?
Wow. Grief, as you have just mentioned, is, I would say it's intense sadness. You are deeply sad because you have lost something or someone. And you have mentioned some of them, like breakups, divorce, even losing a job can put somebody into grief. Yeah. Losing popularity, losing money, losing fame, all these are all kinds of griefs. But my story, like as you have just mentioned about the passing on of my daughter, to me, grief entails the loss. Then there is that sadness, very intense sadness, and simply because there was a connection, there was a bond between me and her. So long as there's a connection between someone and something, once this thing has, if you lose it, then you have to go through the grieving process. So for me, grief is not only the emotional side of it, but it's something that you can do physically. You express them physically, verbally, you talk about it. But most people, I understand, until the death of my daughter, I used to think that grieving is just crying. That's the only process of going through it. But after she passed on, it changed my perspective of the meaning of grief. So grief is I would say it's just like whole thing. It's not just crying. It's beyond the crying and the tears that people see in the funeral ceremony, or I mean, it's beyond the crying. Let me just say, grief is beyond crying.
Okay, and then a question I have for you: do you think people should grieve in private, or does it even help if you go and express to other people who the feeling that you have lost somebody, even those people who doesn't know you, even at work? Do you think being private when you're grieving helps, or being isolated, so to speak? Does it help?
Well, in a man's world, I would say this: when my daughter passed on, I was very confused to cry before the people who came for the funeral ceremony. Because until then, the only person I'd seen as a man crying was my father. My father cried when we lost our aunt, my mother's sister. That's the first time I saw my dad crying. But at first, when I saw him crying, I thought he was joking. Because I was very young, I thought he was, because I used to know he's a strong man. He cannot cry. Why should you cry? I remember I even told my younger brother, did you see dad crying? That was so funny. We were laughing about it after the ceremony, the funeral ceremony. But grieving privately is okay. By private, you mean like when you're in the room, you're in the toilet, you are in the bedroom alone, or you're in the car. You can always grieve. It's perfectly okay. But sometimes in public, like my story, people are watching you, people are looking at you, and you don't want to make everyone uncomfortable. So you cannot scream out loudly and cry loudly and show how painful this thing is to you by just respecting and saying, okay, I'm going to hold this one until this audience is comfortable for me to express this feeling. Like, for example, when I was watching the eulogy by George Jr. Bush, I've watched that eulogy about 10 times, listening to how he was talking about his father. And the words, I was trying to memorize and mimic the words and how he was speaking. But I could see in his eyes, the moment he stepped on the stage to give the eulogy of his father, I could see he was going through a lot of pain. And he read that speech up to the end. Towards the end, the last 30 seconds, he almost started crying.
Yes.
But he maintained his cool. So it depends with the situation and the environment. You can hold your cool as a man, as a woman, but it takes it's okay to cry privately.
Okay.
Yep.
I think I'm kind of losing you there. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. If you can just, if it's okay with you, if you can tell us what happened with your daughter.
Yes, my daughter was born in 2009, and she was healthy until the age of 11 months, and then she started to develop teeth, the teething process. And then I remember during that stage, she had fever, unexplained fever. Then after she was taken to the hospital, the nurses then say, your daughter is okay, she's teething, and when the child is teething, she will develop fever and become moody, not eating, and something like that. And she stayed in the hospital for 3 days with the fever levels not going down. And the nurses kept on saying, she's going to be okay. She's going to be okay. And after the 3 months without eating and without being able to the fever going down, she almost became unconscious. I remember she was like in a coma. I don't know whether she was already dead or she was still alive, but the eyes were open. I could see the eyes are open. And then that's when I felt something is going to happen to her. So I talked with one of the nurses to try and help and salvage the situation. Then, as Purity is saying, yes, fever, diarrhea, and loss of appetite. Those three characterized her for the 3 days before she passed away. When this nurse came and tried to how do I don't know the medical term, to dehydrate her. The nurse said she couldn't locate any vein in her body. You know, she began looking for the vein, the blood veins on the arms. He couldn't trace any vein. Then he tried on the head. I remember the nurses shaved her head. They tried to locate any veins on her head. They still couldn't locate any vein. Then the nurse finally said it's impossible to get any vein and do this procedure. The IV fluids. Thank you so much, Yuna. The only way this nurse told me was to get the jugular. There's the biggest vein here. Yeah. And he said he couldn't do it. So he told me that needs a professional, somebody who is experienced to do it. And time was running out. Remember, time is running out. This kid is helpless. I put myself into her shoes, and I was feeling the pain this kid is going through. And you know, children cannot say it. They're not like us. You will say, I'm dying, or this is it. You even begin telling people goodbye. But I could see in her eyes, this kid is really struggling. I had to pray. I sat down. I prayed. I said, God, if this is going to happen, I'm so sorry. I did my best, but please let it not happen. But I could feel, I don't know if my guts were telling me, Benjamin, time is running out. Something is going to happen that you will regret. And then after that, we had to transfer her to a better doctor who could do the procedure. But the process of transferring her to meet the other doctor was too late, and she passed away along the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so sad. And
yeah, it's a very tough experience.
How are you able to heal with all that? Did you ever seek therapist? Just recover from the whole ordeal. Like,
yeah.
Did you get a therapist, or how are you able to heal?
Of course. It's I couldn't be able to eat. Like, you know, some people, like, I know the viewers who are watching here, they have their children. Every time I do this story, I tell them, hug your kids, be close to your children. You have no idea if any moment you will wake up and find these children are all dead, or this kid is dead. It's a very painful thing. So for the first 2 weeks, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, and then there was a pain that I remember every single day in the morning. There was something that was stuck in my throat. That you know, it's not the pain of like you're so annoyed with life, but it's something that I felt there was something which was stuck in my throat. For 2 weeks, I was eating every single day, but the food was tasteless. And then the funeral ceremony went on smoothly after 3 days. After that, then it began sinking in me that now this child is no more. I was just looking at her pictures, and I see, okay, this she's not here anymore. Then I began asking myself questions. Why? Why did I become a father? Why did I have a child? Why did my child have to die? Why didn't I die before? The why questions kept on coming into me every single day and night. Then I lost weight, of course. I lost too much weight because of the stress. And then it took me about 1 year to fully accept that she has died. For 1 year, I thought she was going to come back. After 1 year, then I realized my life is not okay. I'm not a happy person. I'm so negative. I hated the nurses. I hated people who had children. I hated every time I was walking on the street and I see a man holding hand their daughters. I hated the man and I hated the daughter. Then I said, this is not going to be okay. I shouldn't continue doing this, you know. Then I met a pastor, a church leader here in Japan, who is working in. He is a church. His denomination is a Baptist, based in America. And when I went to this church, I opened up to him. I talked with him. I told him what I was going through. And then he has 2 beautiful children, a son and a daughter. Then he began talking to me as a man-to-man talk. Then he began taking me through the counseling session for about 8 months. And through that process, bought for me some books. I have books about grieving for a parent. If your child dies, if you had a miscarriage, do they go to heaven? You know, those are the questions I was asking myself. Did she go to heaven? She was just 11 months year old. And if she went to heaven, am I going to see her? Am I also going to go to heaven and meet her again? Those questions were so painful for me. And then as time was going by, I used to imagine how she could look like. If she was alive right now, she could be 9 years old. So every time I meet 9-year-old girls, when I see them on the pictures, when I see my friends posting about them, I look at them and I say, that could be my daughter right now. But that counseling helped me a lot to change the perspective of not living in denial, accept the reality, this child is no more with you. That was the time that God had put her in this world, and there's nothing more you can do about it. She's gone, accept it, and move on with life. Then I started moving on, and now I'm okay to talk about it in this setting.
Wow, it takes courage to talk about that. It's very personal.
Yes.
And I can only imagine like losing your own daughter. I have a daughter who is born 2009. She's 9 years old right now. And
that's when my daughter was born.
I cannot.
When was she born? When was she born?
She
Which
was
month?
born in October.
My daughter was born in October.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a very sad situation. I can't even fathom because I don't know. For those who have kids, I don't know whether you can be able to even overcome it's just
it's
so
tough.
sad.
It's tough.
Yeah, it is. It's very tough.
If your daughter I'm not just saying, like if your child passed away right now, everything you will see in the house will remind you where she used to sit. I mean, anything, even her chair, if she has that small kid's chair, will remind you that. If her bed, if you had her bed, every time you'll see the bed, you will remember her. So to overcome all these memories, the saddest memories and the things that you cannot experience with her, is a very tough situation. Some people even you have to change even the house. I think you will have to go to another house altogether to try and forget about all these situations. So it's something that any parent should not go through.
If there is any advice you can give to somebody who have lost, specifically their children, what would you tell them? Just one advice.
One advice is
you have lived through it. Yeah.
One advice is as you're watching Benjamin speaking about this experience, that tells you that there are millions of people, millions of parents who have lost children, whether through stillbirth, miscarriage, or death. They are millions. So don't feel that this specifically it's about you. It's about Benjamin. It's about maybe another man. Out of all these 155 people watching us, 1 or 2 or 3 of them have gone through the same process. So be encouraged that this happens to many people. As I'm speaking right now, somebody's child will pass away this month, and they have no idea about it, because that's the nature of death. Nobody plans for death. So somebody watching me, I know some of my classmates who have gone through the same process. They have lost their children. We are age mates. We were together in high school, but they have lost children. And I tell them the same thing. This is not about you alone. It's about many people outside there. That alone should encourage you to understand that anybody can lose their child.
Yeah, and the other thing I was going to add there, Benjamin, is I think we should be spiritual. And many people, they mistake being spiritual and being religious. You don't have to be religious to be spiritual. Mm-hmm. You have to know what works better for you. If it's meditation, if it's seeking a therapist, just to know your inner self, what works better for you. But I think many people, they just get confused about the spirituality and being a religious person, which are two different things, Mm-hmm. But I think the study have shown if you're spiritual mm-hmm. and you know yourself spiritually, I think they tend to do better with the therapy and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I was going to ask you, Eve, is do you think you passed through all the grieving stages, like anger, bargaining, acceptance, and all that? Mm-hmm. There are about 5 stages. Do you think you personally you passed all those 5 stages, or you skipped some of the stages? Mm-hmm. Stages. Even like, were you depressed? Were you angry? Were you bargaining with God? And when your daughter was on that, the hospital, mm-hmm. did you ever go through all the stages?
Yeah, those stages. The first one is denial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as I mentioned, for 1 year I denied. I said my daughter is still alive. She's not yet dead. I denied and I denied. Even when my mother was telling me, my son, I don't know what you're going through. And she's the one who kept on encouraging me. Of course, my father was like manly enough. He even made a joke. He told me, you still have so many kids. You're carrying so many kids there under your private parts. You will get more kids. It was a manly joke, but I took it kindly. Yeah. And I laughed about it. I said, that's true. I have so many. I'm fertile. I know I can make babies. So it encouraged me. But the first 1 year, I denied everything about it. And then the second stage, which was the second stage is bargaining, right?
It's anger, then bargaining.
Anger, yes. Yeah. I was very annoyed, pissed off with the Kenyan system, the nurses. I was annoyed with myself not acting quick enough. I was annoyed with basically myself and the health system. And specifically those nurses who kept on telling me, your daughter is going to be fine, your daughter is okay, your daughter is fine, this is just a process, every kid go through this. And they were just college students, they were doing their internship, they had no experience to deal with it. And most of them were not parents, of course. And I came to realize that indeed, any first-time parent should be very cautious about their children. Once your child becomes sick, you should be very quick and act as fast as you can and stop what you're doing. Focus on your child getting medical attention as soon as possible. So that second stage of anger was too much. I mentioned briefly, I hated anyone who was talking about their children. I hated, I had anger about people who are claiming that, oh, my daughter is beautiful. I mean, any father who was outside there and feeling that he is lucky enough to have 2 beautiful children, I had all this anger towards them. Then the third stage was guilt, the bargaining now. Uh-huh. That's when I began asking myself questions. Is my child in heaven, the what if questions. What if I was not a father?
Yeah.
What if I was not a father? You know, if I wasn't a father, I couldn't have lost a child. What if I died before my daughter? How could she survive without me?
Yeah.
What if God is punishing me for my sins that I've committed to Him? What if it was planned that when I get a child, this child must die? I bargained and I tried to ask these questions a lot without any answers. And then when those what ifs were too many, that's when the depression kicked in. Lost weight, and I began feeling like my life is meaningless, it's pointless now. I don't want to become a father again. I was so scared if I become a father again, maybe my child will pass away, something like that. Then I went for the counseling and the therapy with that man. After the counseling and the overcoming the depression, the last stage is acceptance. I had to accept. Now I'm confident, I am okay, I can talk about it without getting emotional. Sometimes I get really emotional, especially when I have all these vivid images about her, about the good moments I was experiencing with her. I get emotional about it, but I accepted and moved on. I said, okay, God, you know the best. It's you who decided to do this to me, and I have no more questions to you.
Yeah, and
so I went through all the stages. I went through all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can picture what went through your mind, because I don't know what I told you. I am a respiratory therapist. I deal with the kids, the sick and the dying. And I have seen so many kids, dying, and I don't know. I don't even know how to talk about that, because the parents sometimes are very sad. And I have worked in an emergency room where the people, they are just screaming, and it's crazy,
Helpless, very helpless situation.
Yeah. So I can see what's going. I can exactly picture what went on that. And I want to ask you if there's this term people, they keep on saying, time heals. Do you believe in that saying or the quote, time heals?
Time heals.
Yeah.
I believe in it, yes and no.
Yeah.
I believe in it because I'm a testimony. Since the death from 2010 to now 2018, those are 8 years. I have healed, I have moved on. So I strongly believe that time heals in everything, whether it's a loss of a job, a loss of a spouse, a loss of anything. That, as we mentioned from the beginning of this show, time will heal. You will finally accept it. If you lose your boyfriend, you lose your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, with time you accept, and it will heal. But also I said it's no, because I have seen comments there, people saying people grieve differently.
Exactly.
There are people who lost their children more than 20 years ago, but they are still going through those 5 stages we mentioned. In other words, there are people who will grieve for the rest of their lives. They will cry and they will never move on for the rest of their lives. And it's perfectly okay. The only challenge is the more the grieving continues and it's affecting your daily life, your normal thinking, and the way you deal with people, the way you talk to other people and treat other people, that's when you should seek for help. So long as your life is very okay, it's very normal, like I had this hatred towards the people with their children, the nurses, the health system, the Kenyan government, so long as you accept that this is the situation and there's nothing I can do about it, maybe I can advocate for better services, but not attacking and displaying my anger towards these people, innocent people, just because I lost a daughter, then you can continue grieving for the rest of your life. But it's too painful to. I have met people, George, when I do my shows, that their parent passed away when they were pretty young. maybe their father passed away, and now that their life is not successful, they are struggling in life to make ends meet. They tell me, Benjamin, if my father was alive, I would be like you. I would be successful like you. But I can see this person is grieving, but she or he has not moved away from that state, has not accepted that, yes, your father passed away, your parent is missing, but now you have to step up and work harder to get yourself successful the way you want. Anybody can be whatever they wanted to be. So some people, the people who are watching me and they're listening to my story, the grieving can last, but so long as it doesn't affect your life, normal daily life, then continue grieving. It shouldn't stop.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
The last question I have there for you, here for you,
Yeah.
is I know here it's a norm. I think, I don't know whether it's very common in Kenya. When you lose somebody through leukemia, sickle cell, or anything, some people they form a foundation, or they have they start helping those people who are struggling with that. Have you thought, or what are you doing, maybe to help people who have lost their loved one? Is there anything you're doing? It doesn't have to be financial, even speaking engagements, motivational speaking. Is there anything you're doing to help those kind of people who are grieving right now? Maybe they have lost their loved one. It could be a daughter, it could be a son, it could be their father, or mother. Or have you thought in future doing something like that?
Now that you have asked, thank you for that question. I have begun with this Facebook Live. To go live as a man, there are many men who cannot do what I've just done. Like if they lost their kid maybe 1 year ago or 5 years ago. I know some celebrities who have lost children and they are popular. We see them on the screens on the TV. I know some of them. But even then, they cannot be able to use their platforms to speak about their grieving process and how they have tried to overcome. So for me, I've begun doing it on my Facebook Live video. I don't specifically speak about the grieving or the loss of someone. This topic is just one of the topics that I cover on my live shows. So in future, I'm seriously thinking about, other than inspirational speaking, I am looking at a future of working as a counselor, professional counseling, and the counseling will be, it will be an organization that specifically deals with many kinds of life challenges that people face, and one of them would be counseling about a loss of someone in future. That is something that I'm looking forward to. I have to go through the training process, get the qualifications, get more experience, and be ready to do it, so that if I meet somebody who wants professional counseling, I can be in a position to offer it to him or her.
Okay. I think that's bold, Benjamin, for coming and speaking something which is so personal to you. And I applaud you for that, because not so many people who are that courageous to come and just talk about losing their daughter, or even anybody who they love. So kudos for that.
Thank you.
Let's shift gears a little bit here, because we're coming almost to the end of the show. And when I posted today that you're coming on my show, many people wanted to know, when are you coming to the United States? Are you going to come here anytime soon, either to visit or to relocate here? That is a question that came up on my inbox, and I was asked to ask you that question. Are you going to come here to visit, or just what's your plan in future?
My future, I've been planning to move out of Japan because now my life is fixed. I want to progress in life. Progression is very important. Change is very important. So I'm not going to settle in Japan for the rest of my life. I am thinking and planning of moving out of Japan. But if it's moving out, I'm also looking at what else am I going to do other than the teaching profession as a teacher, because I'm professionally trained to be a teacher.
Yeah.
So in the event that I move to Japan, to another country, whether it's in Canada or the US or any other country, it has to be a location that will still help me to continue progressing with what I do, the Facebook Live videos, and meet my goals and dreams to work in the media industry. But yes, America, I was supposed to visit this year, but my working nature and the days, I got invited by one of the communities from my tribe to come there and just offer to speak to the people from my community, but I couldn't be able to get the days off and travel all the way to the US.
Was it in Texas?
This one was in Minnesota.
Oh, okay. It's not a Sagasaga. I think it's Sagasaga. Have you?
No.
Okay. There's a group called the Sagasaga. Yeah. And
So I am not sure. I'm not sure but I will move out of Japan. That is a fact. Whether I come to the US, I will say I'm coming to visit. I have some relatives there, and I have friends now. I have you as my friend. Why not? I can come and visit you too.
Karibu, Texas. This is where it all happened here in Texas. We're known for going above and beyond. Where anything goes, it happens in Texas.
Yes.
But let's talk about the Christmas season before we finish up these. And what does the Christmas season means to you? Do you celebrate? What does it mean to you? Because back in the day, we used to go. It was big, 25th, December 25th. Everybody was chinja. You do everything else. Do you still follow the same routine, or do you celebrate, or what do you do for Christmas, or is it still a big thing for you?
I think I lost you.
Yeah, I'm asking. Do you
Hello,
celebrate?
I lost
Christmas,
you now. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right.
I think I'm kind of losing. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yeah, I was saying we're gonna shift our gears a little bit here. We're gonna talk about the Christmas, because the Christmas, season is coming.
Yeah, I got your question.
Yes. So.
Yeah. In Japan.
Yeah.
In Japan, it's a predominantly a Buddhist country, so Christmas is they don't celebrate it. Ooh. People go to work, and the Japanese culture of Christmas on the December 24th, the Christmas Eve. They usually have a dinner out, especially for those people who are dating, a boyfriend and a out. It's like a Valentine's Day. So if I'm in Japan, I usually go to work and come back home, enjoy the evening. It's very cold. It's usually snowing outside, very cold. I can't go outside that time. I sit, watch something nice, a nice Christian movie, or something inspirational about Christianity on YouTube videos, something like that. But if I was at home, back home in my country, as I mentioned on one of my live shows 2 weeks ago, I said something about our brothers and sisters Muslims. Every time they are celebrating their Eid al-Fitr, they have this feast. They cook lots of food and invite anyone to go there and eat. It's not about the food. But I said for Christians, us as Christians, like you are a Christian like me, we don't do that very often. We have a party, we eat a lot of food as a family and as our fellow family members or neighbors if you're so close with your neighbors. My challenge this year will be, if anyone has the opportunity to reach out to somebody who is so needy, maybe offering your clothes. I know so many ladies who have so many clothes in their closets, to donate to someone, especially the homeless people in the streets for this Christmas season. And if possible, you can have 2 or 3 boys go together with you and eat lunch together with you. The more you're eating, share this food with them. Just the same way our brothers and sisters, the Muslim society, do during that specific day when they celebrate that day. So for me, if I have the chance to be together in a position like Wairim is asking, are there Kenyans? Yes, they are Kenyans. But if I have the chance this year to meet the homeless and those street children, I'm going to do something for them for this Christmas. That's a promise I've taken, and I would like to do it, and my followers to do something this year other than just enjoying and partying, go to the disco, drinking, the following day wake up with a hangover, start drinking again. It's very satisfying to give a meal to somebody who has been struggling to get that food for the last 1 year, since January to December. It's very satisfying as a man or as a woman to do it. So that's how I will celebrate the Christmas. But other than that, in the past, when I was in Kenya, it's just a family time. Family time, eating, drinking, and the family meeting, talking about the year, and people reconciling, and having a way forward for this year, next year. This is what we're going to do as a family. So usually that's how we have been celebrating in our family.
Yeah, and it's kind of different here in US. It's not even funny. The Christmas is so commercialized. It's about exchanging gifts. And I hear people that say, I'm just gonna get off from work in the morning, just gonna open the gift with my babies and all that, and I'm gonna go back to bed. It's all about giving the gift, but that's not how we were raised. But hey, we live in a foreign country, so we have to do what they do. But that doesn't mean we're gonna stop our traditions either. So having said that, I'm gonna give you the closing thoughts, and I think we have talked about maybe how many minutes here? We've quite a bit, over 1 hour. So and then we can finish our broadcast tonight. So your last thought, so we can finish these broadcasts.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you so much, George, for inviting me to your show and giving me this honor and opportunity to talk to these viewers. And secondly, I want to thank all the viewers who have watched patiently from the beginning up to the end. The comments and the compliments, I want to sincerely say thanks to all of them. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your kind words and wishes too. And then this is a festive season. Celebrate. Thank God for the gift of life. Enjoy, but as I just mentioned, do not forget about somebody who is homeless, somebody who does not clothes, somebody who is if you have a chance to go to the prison, you can go to the prison and donate something there. If you have a chance to go to the hospital, I am a teacher, but one day I wanted to appreciate how healthy I am. Then I decided to go and walk inside the hospital, just walking inside. And that image, the way I saw all these people on their sick beds, how they looked at me, I was just walking. I went there to just appreciate how healthy I am and how alive I am. And that image, I will never forget it. I challenge my viewers and my followers, do something. If you can reach out to the hospital, just go there and donate something as you celebrate that you are alive, you are healthy. If you can, I see there V, I'm late, I lost my son, but I've never gotten over it. I wish you well, V. It's a long process. Please watch the video again, and then you can pick something from my story.
So sorry about that.
Sorry about it, So, as I was just mentioning, this Christmas, those who like to party, my fellow men, drinking and driving is extremely dangerous. Where I live in Japan, the punishment of somebody who drinks and drives is very heavy. Your license is taken away from you for 5 years, and your company or where you work is notified that this man was drinking and driving. So we advise you to fire him from work. So the punishment is so heavy because they know if you die. Sorry about that. If you know that you're going to drink and drive, remember you can die, and if you die, your children will have to suffer through the journey because you're missing. And if you kill someone, you may be in prison. So my words to the young men and women there, enjoy, but especially with alcoholism and driving, take care. This life is not repressible. When my daughter passed away,
No.
I can wish to have another daughter or many more daughters in my life, but it's basically impossible to have the same daughter like I used to have. Have fun, but take care of yourself and your family.
Yeah, I hope you come back again with
Yep.
these topics.
Yes.
We're gonna continue having these conversations, and because like I said, inspire, inform, and educate, and that's
Yes.
exactly what we're doing right now. So, Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, brother.
Yeah, I've been working the whole day. I'm kind of tired. I'm gonna go to
Yeah,
bed.
I can see in your eyes. I see in your eyes.
Yes.
You're tired. Yes.
I woke up like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
this morning. I got back home at 9.
Yeah.
I start getting ready for this show. But I ain't complaining because I'm taking my vacation next week. I might be in Japan, you never know. But
Yeah.
I'm looking to kind of get out of the United States for a little bit,
Yes.
and then come back maybe after 1 week.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
Take a rest. Yeah.
the interview.
Mhm.
It was very, very informative. And thank you to you for coming and sharing this very personal story about your daughter. And I hope you still continue to heal, although you never heal completely, but it's a process, it's a journey.
Yep.
And I wish you all the best in
Thank
your
you so much.
future. And
Thank
if you
you.
come to United States, Karibu, Texas, I'm here. I'm in Dallas.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you, brother.
I'm here
Thank you,
for
brother.
All right.
Thank you, brother. Yes.
If you need anybody to talk to,
Yeah.
I'm here for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Goodbye, everyone.
For
Yeah,
those
let me just
guys
say,
who watch
yeah,
us,
yeah,
Asante Sana,
yeah.
thank you. We appreciate you so much.
Remember
right
to follow
here
me on my
on the
Facebook
credentials.
account. Yeah. Remember
Alrighty,
to tell them
thank
to
you.
follow me on my Facebook account.
Yeah, follow him. His name is Bogonko. Yeah, Benjamin Bogonko Jr. on Facebook. He has very informative Facebook lives. You are meant for this, Benja, and thank you so much for everything you do. Have a good night.
Thank you, brother. Enjoy your night. Goodbye.
Alrighty, bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Okay.